Hello everybody, my name is Chris, and today we're looking at not only Overwatch, but I thought it'd be a fun little bonus thing to look at every skin in Sony's Marvel Spider-Man. So, the rules are simple. Much like with the Overwatch rankings, I'm just going to give my opinions on all the skins. The difference is that this has 47 of them, where every character in Overwatch had a maximum at 22, and that was Tracer. So, I'm going to be a bit quicker with these, because I have to blow through them kind of quickly, so we're not here for like an hour. But with that being said, let's look at the worst skin of the bunch, and that is Spider-Man 2099 White Suit. Now, the reason this is the worst is because, we'll get to this later, but the original Spider 2099 suit is very good with the blue and the red working together. The white suit is too contrasting. It's too bold and, like, ugly. I do understand what they're going for. You know, his colors are red and white to an extent in this game, but this skin just kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't do much for me. Next up is the Spider Armor Mark IV, and you'll notice something with me, I don't really like metallic things, so this is just his base skin, like the first one in the game, just shiny, and I like the base skin model. I like the Spider-Man iconic suit. It's iconic for a reason, but I don't like this suit because of how much, like, look at this. Look at this exposure. What the fuck is this lighting? Why is it so reflective? Like, this is more distracting than anything. Next up is the Resilient suit, and it's kind of like with the last one. I like the original Spider-Man concept, and this one kind of flips it, kind of. Instead of being blue with the webbing, it's just solid silvery gray, but it's still too reflectively metallic. And I know that you're all going to be like, why don't you just go out into the hub area and look at these? The point of me doing it in this engine, like the suit select screen, is so that A, they're all in the same pose, so it's a uniform ranking, so it's a fair list, first of all, but also because this way it's even lighting, it's even environment, there's no external forces. I don't want anything to influence this other than my own personal taste. That being said, this one's just got the same problem as the rest of them I've said so far. It's just a bit too reflective and a bit too gaudy, I should say. Next up, we have Cyborg Spider-Man suit. Finally, one that isn't all metallic. And again, I like the original suit. I think it's a very good one. I like the gruff on it. I like how you can see the fabric, and like, it looks like it's made of denim almost, and I think that's really cool. I like how the boots have like a little bit of a rubber thing on them so they stay up. That's a nice detail. I'm just sick of seeing post-apocalyptic wasteland shit. Like, we don't need Batman as Spider-Man. That's what Batman is. Or Ladybug, I guess you could say. But, you know, we don't need a whole other Spider-Man version of Batman. That's what another suit is, but we'll get to that later. Next up is the Iron Spider suit, and we're back in our lane, aren't we? Trust me, we'll get to some good ones later. These are all good, like I said, but this is a pretty good metallic one, I'll give it that. It's not so reflective. It's got like a matte shine to it, if that makes sense, because those are antonyms. But like, you know, you could, it's reflective, but it's not like blinding me with its shine. It's a good compromise. The scarlet and the red go well together, as scarlet and red usually do. And, I mean, there is an Iron Spider suit, and I like the fact that they're showing a nod to that. And given the MCU, this suit has a little bit more weight to it, because it's the Iron Spider. But we'll get to why that is later when we get to the other suits that tie into the MCU. But for now, it's here, towards the bottom. Next up is the Web suit, or as I like to call it, the Tobey Maguire suit. Because we all know this is the Sam Raimi suit, they just couldn't call it that for legal reasons. The biggest issue I have is that the webbing is extruded. I mean, it was that way in the movie, so it's actually like on the costume, rather than being stitched in. So that just kind of, it's a bit too much to look at. Like, it's just a little bit too much detail to look at, because like, look at his fingers, they look a little too uncomfortable with the webbing on it. Jesus, I would not be okay being Spider-Man like that. Like, that would hurt to like punch someone. Next up is Spirit Spider, and while I like the idea that they kind of gave him like a Deadpool-esque, not Deadpool, Ghost Rider like aesthetic to it, I think it's cool looking, but it looks like muscle tissue. Like he's just naked, which that was the concept. I don't know why. I don't know why that is a thing, but you know, it looks like he's just kind of got he's exposed muscle and then a skull with blue flames. I don't know. They're just better looking ones. Next up is the stealth suit from Spider-Man: Far From Home. And well, I like this as a nod to the movie, and it's cool that they put in this DLC a year and a half later after the game was released. I wish there was like an ability attached to it. Plus, I know it's supposed to be a stealth suit. It's in the name, for God's sake. But we already have the noir suit. This is just kind of a different version of that. And I love it. I love Tom Holland. He's like my favorite Spider-Man. Like, he's so cute. Like, let that kid keep being Spider-Man. But this suit didn't need to be a thing like the one they added along with it. Because we had one that was so similar, it just seemed kind of redundant. Next up is the Spider Armor Mark 1, and much like with the other metallic suits, this one's a really reflective and a little off-putting, but this is kind of what I meant with the Iron Spider suit. This is the Spider-Man suit in the timeline where he was a billionaire who was, you know, able to make his own gadgets and become Spider-Man rather than getting bitten by a spider. So it's kind of like the noir suit and the stealth suit where it's all black and the metal is reflective, although you can't really see what it's reflecting in this, I guess, menu. I don't know what to call this, but yeah, it's nice. It has a bit of nostalgia because that old Spider-Man TV multi-part, multi-dimension crossover episode, but other than that, it's just kind of bland. Sleek, but bland. Next up is the Spider-Man 2099 black suit. And this is what I meant when I said the white suit was really off-putting. Because the black suit isn't, well, A isn't black, it's more like purplish navy blue. And the red complements that a lot better. This is also just a more iconic suit, because we all know Spider-Man 99 at this point. And what this suit does is that it makes the red stand out by being a darker shade, and the blue just looks nicer than the white. It's not as jarring. It's more pleasant to look at. Not the best looking suit, but it's just nicer than the white one. Next up is the negative suit, and while I get the fact that it's supposed to be it's supposed to blend in with Mr. Negative, you get it, you unlock it by beating him in like the first fight you have with him, and that's fine. These colors are off-putting, and they're supposed to be because they're like a negative, of the suit. And while I think it's a cool concept, it's just a bit lazy because, it's the same suit as the advanced suit, just black and white with that weird gradient on it. It's good, but it could have been better. Next up is Sphere itself, and I like the blue, I like the electric webbing, I like the dragon scale looking thing on it. The spider's really cool in the back. My only issue is that I don't really like the gauntlets. I think they're a bit too much. I get what you're going for because the gloves are all one thing and there's no like wrist cufflet thing to offset it, so you added the gauntlets. But I feel like if you just made part of the glove black to match the scales, you would have been good. But I get it. It's more like a defense thing than a stylish choice. Next up is Future Foundation suit. And I know this is when he's with the Fantastic Four, and admittedly it's a really cool design, but it's in the middle because it just seems too simple. It's black and then it's the inverse on the front. It's, white with a black spider, and then it's black with the spider's still black, but I get what they're going for, that the spider is the black on the suit and the white is to go with the new Fantastic Four idea, but I don't know, I'm just not like the biggest fan. I never read those comics, so to me it's just like, it's okay. Next up is Classic Suits Damaged, because while I like this as like a DLC thing, I mean, if you got the season pass or pre-order, I think it was the pre-order, you got this for free, and I like that. You know, it's just the classic suit with some scratches on it. Like, it's the suit you wear from Fisk's building to Doc Ock's lab. That's really all it's for. But I mean, it's cute that they kept it in because they could have just been like, "Nah, you're never getting that back." But no, you can just like, you can wear it like, "Nah, you know, here's my battle scars, motherfucker. Fuck you." And I like that. You know, it's like, hey, Peter's still gonna keep his damaged stuff because it's in his past. Speaking of things from his past, we have the homemade suit. I mean, for a kid, pretty cool. I think this was the Spider-Man Homecoming homemade suit, if I remember that correctly. I haven't seen Homecoming in like a year, so bear with me. But, I mean, for what a teenager could do, it's pretty good. Sweatpants, flexible, nice shoes. The jacket's cute. And I like the goggles with like the mesh in them so you can still see, but no one can see your eyes. You know, you're kind of just a faceless character. I like that. The hoodie drawstring's a pretty good touch too. Next up is the Bombastic Bagman suit. And much like with the Future Foundation suit, I think this one's just different. Like, I like this one more because of the joke that came behind it. Like, this is literally, Peter tore his suit and his mask, or it got damaged and beyond repair, so he had to swing by Reed Richards and asked to borrow a suit, and then he just cut a hole out of a paper bag and drew the eyes on it. I think that's hilarious. I think that's so funny. And the fact they put it in as free DLC is just, oh, it makes me laugh. I love it. Because it reminds us that Peter's just human. Much like the game will always tell you, Peter is just human. Just happens to be a radioactive human. Next up is Spider-Punk. And I gotta say this right off the bat, my favorite part of this is the Spider-Man Converse. I love them. The leather jacket's so cute with all the pins on it. The spikes are a cute touch. The little spider on the jacket's adorable. I love the belts. This outfit's just, this is so like his edgy teen phase, and I live for it. Also, I love the fact that the spider, like the web shooters, are just studded bracelets. I think that's so fucking hilarious. Oh, bless this suit. I love it. Next up is the wrestler suit, and honestly, I just think this one is good because it reminds him of the day he fucked up, and he'll always keep this because had he just been a little more giving a fuck, his uncle would be alive. I'm not really crazy about its design, but because of what it represents, it's pretty high up here because of what it represents, more so than its design. Next up is the Scarlet Spider 2 suit, and I wish there was more black to it. Like the fingertips, the sole of the shoe, the back of the head, and the shoulders, that's fine. But I wish like he had like a Superman moment where like the black was on his crotch or something, just to like break up the idea a little bit more. I don't know, like maybe even just his thighs, just something to make this look a little bit more distinct, because as it stands, all the shades of red are just kind of hard to distinguish. It's not bad, it's just not perfect. You know what I mean? Next up is the Armored Spider Mark III suit, and this one's really fucking badass. Like, holy shit. He's got like a jetpack that leads into the spider on his back. He looks kind of like the Arkham Knight, if you remember that from that game. The spider on his chest is really huge and it's just nice to look at. The armor is well colored. You can see everything clearly. The eyes have this nice electric blue tint to them. This is just a badass skin. Like, it's really, really cool. I love this suit. Next up is the Iron Spider suit, and yes, it's very reflective, but this one I like because it's like a hybrid between Tony and Peter. I like how, you know, Tony made this for Peter, and just in case of emergency, and the fact that it's not a perfect, like, Iron Spider clone, and it's still got elements of, Spider-Man. It's red with this like matted blue, and then the yellow to represent Tony. Like that's smart design. I'm glad they actually, like, kept this in, and it was a nod to Infinity War, which I think came out that same year, if not the next summer. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is a great skin. Next up is the Spider-Man UK suit, and I like the tealish blue. I love the red. Like, this just looks like the UK took, like, someone in the UK as a fanfic took the original Spider-Man suit and then, like, colored in his arms and legs so that only the soles of his shoes and his gloves had any red left on them. I mean, it's a solid design. I just think it's goofy at the same time. Like, who the fuck wanted a UK Spider-Man? The fuck? Next up is the classic suit repaired, and this is what I mean when I say I like the classic suit, because it's classic Spider-Man. It's iconic for a very specific reason. There's a reason the game started out with this skin and then had Doc Ock give you a new one when this one was damaged. It's iconic. It's kind of like Gucci. Like, it never goes out of style. It's expensive as fuck, but it's never gonna go out of style. I don't know what else to say. It's up here for posterity, really. That's all I gotta say. It's just up here for posterity. Next up is the Into the Spider-Verse suit, and really it's the same thing. It's iconic, but what I love about it is the fact that the color saturation is turned way up, and you could see all the Ben-Day dots on it. You can see all the extra little, like, detail in the fabric to make it look like it's not of this world, and that's nice. I just think it's a good, like, I wouldn't put these on separate levels. They would just be companion pieces almost. Next up is the Noir suit, and while I know what the suit is trying to do, I know what they're going for because of the timeline and all that. This is a Spider-Man from World War II era where he had to be more stealthy because his webbing because he wasn't as strong. He just had some webbing. So I get what they're going for, that they wanted to use this suit because it's iconic. I just think that if it had more color or more, I don't know, lighter shades of gray, it would be more appealing. But I get the fact that he can't do that because he has to stick to the shadows and, like, blend in and all that shit, so he's not, like, killed. But hey, I'm weird. Y'all know this by now. Next up is the Spider Armor Mark II suit. Really, this just reminds me of a fucking wasp, and that's the biggest problem. Like, that's really the biggest issue. I just think it looks like a wasp. It's also a bit too reflective for my taste, but it's just high up because I think it looks futuristic, and that just gives it a lot of points. Next up is the electrically insulated suit. And I love this thing's design. Again, black and red, really good color scheme, especially on Spider-Man. I like how bulky it is. I like the insulation you can see everywhere. The little metal joint things on his shoulders that, be conductors. The only problem I have is that I wish the eye sockets had, like, a red detail or something, just a darker black. Maybe, like, the normal mask has that little reflective black piece to, like, make it pop more. But maybe they couldn't do that because of the insulation. I'm not sure, but just giving you my opinions here. That's what you're here for. Next up is the advanced suit. The suit you start the game out with, and by God, is it cool. Like, honest to God, this suit sold me on, like, half the game. I love this suit. I love the detail of the white. I love the redisbursement of the blue to red ratio. I love this suit. It's so fucking cool. I've heard people say they don't like this because of how big the spider is on the chest and how, like, overly long the back legs are on the spider on the back, but fuck you guys. This thing is awesome. It's so high up because it's the next step in Spider-Man as a character, And the developers knew that, so they were like, let's give him a new suit. And I'm like, yes, let's do that. Next up is the Scarlet Spider suit, and this takes a place with the wrestler suit and the homemade suit as a suit that I love for a different reason. I love how advanced this suit is, but then the kid was like, I'm gonna throw on one of those douchebag sleeveless sweaters with a hood and like the hoodie pocket. I don't know why he has the hoodie on. I don't care. But it humanizes him so much. It makes him feel like a teenager. I think this character's name is actually Ben or Barry or I don't know. It's something with a B, I know that much. It's not Peter, but I do love this suit. I don't know why he has a bunch of bullets on him, but it's a cool aesthetic. Next up is the Scarlet War suit, and this is a good, for lack of a better term, reskin, because it's basically the base model with black everywhere, but the webbing is red, and the spider on the front and back is like this nice, very, I don't want to say pastel, but when I think of this color, I think of just like paint, like wet paint in a can. You know what I'm trying to say? It's just an appealing skin to look at. I'm not gonna lie. Next up is the upgraded suit from Far From Home. Now, this is so far up because black and red, as I've said before, I just said. But this one's creative. It's basically just the red and blue suit, just kind of flipped to have black in it. But what I really like about it is that Peter made it himself. He pulled a Tony. He got into it. He made his own suit, thought ahead, and just that moment got me in the movie. Like, I cried at this moment. Its design is amazing, and it's an amazing moment. So, what can I say? I love this kid. Next up is the Anti-Ox suit, and this is what Mark II should have been. Look at this. He's pissed. He's ready to fucking fight. He's got that yellow on him. He's got that determination. He's not here to fuck around. He's here to get the serum and leave. This also has a more localized point for all the extra color. So you're seeing just the joints and his torso, more so than like everywhere else, like his arms and shit. This is just a good skin. I wish the fight wasn't so dragged out, but I do like this suit. I will say that. Next up is the vintage comic book suit. I'm not gonna lie, this is just a funny ass suit to me. I just think it's hilarious. Like, they were like, let's meme this. And they were like, yeah. There's no real other reason. He's cell shaded, which I always love cell shading in anything. Yeah, I don't have to justify myself on this one. It's just funny. Next up is the Last Stand suit, and honestly, this is what I would wear if I was Spider-Man. Some boots, some black jeans. That jacket is sexy as fuck. I want that jacket. Oh my god, I want that jacket. It's so cool. If anyone wants to send this to my P.O. box, which I'll get a P.O. box for this shit, I want this jacket. It's so cool. Oh, it's sexy. The mask is a nice leather that matched the suit. The gloves just blend seamlessly in with the jacket. Oh my god, this is just a cool, like, if I were Spider-Man, this would be my suit, kind of suit. Next up is the Velocity suit, and it's basically just Sonic, it's a Sonic suit. It's black, it's electric blue, it's red. It's armor, but it's not too reflective. It's everything I've said about other skins on this list. It's just really good. Next up is the Stark suit, and it's Tom Holland. I've said this before, the other ones of his. What do you want me to say now? It's Tom Holland. It's a good upgrade to the normal suit. It's kind of a mix between the advanced suit and the classic suit with some extra black instead of white. It's just cool. Plus, Tom Holland. I don't have a crush or anything. Shut up, guys. Next up is undies. Again, this is just a joke outfit, and I love it. I fucking love it. Like, this is what you get for 100% completing the game. It's so fucking great. Like, it's just him and his tidy whiteys. I love it. I mean, come on, guys. It's funny. Plus, you know what I mean? He's got some eye candy abs. Jesus fuck me Christ. Boy, he's sexy. I didn't just say that out loud. Moving on. Next up is the dark suit, and I mean, it gives you what it promised. It's mostly black with a little bit of red. This is kind of what I said about the insulated suit. See that little extra bit of black around the eye? It just helps you focus on where his eyes are. Plus, it being, you know, that reflective red helps you, you know, draw into them a lot easier. I mean, it's a simple design, but we like simplicity here. I mean, have you seen Sora? He's a precious boy, but he's simple. Next up is the Aaron Eichmann armor. I mean, do I have to explain why this is fucking badass? Look at this thing. This is like if an anime nerd wanted to build a Spider-Man costume, but make it like a Power Ranger. Look at this thing. I love the thrusters on the boots. I love the helmet. I love the emblem, the detail, the etching, the leather, the little bunched up stuff on his hip so he can move around easier. Like, this is a thought out skin, and I love it for its attention to detail. I do find it hard to believe that he can punch in those gloves, but that's my only drawback. I have no complaints. Next up is the Stealth Big Time suit, and this, I think Felicia gave you this one, I'm not sure, I forget, but I love this suit. It's so fucking awesome. If you haven't catched on, black and green are my favorite colors of all time. They blend together so well, and almost any combination of those two colors is aesthetically pleasing to look at. This skin is amazing. The spider coming out all across his body, into his palm, on the soles of his feet, around his entire torso, down his thigh, his fucking eyeballs. This skin is awesome. It's simple, it's understated, and it does what you want it to do. It has an amazing sense of cohesion. The only thing I really can say is that I wish there was a bit more green on like the back of his thigh, but if that's it, again, I have no complaints. It's just so good. However, this did get beat up by one suit, and that is the Spider Clan suit. I don't know what to tell you guys. I just love this one. First of all, I don't know what show this is from. I don't give a shit what show this is from. This is amazing. First of all, I love how only the mask and the hands have the webbing on them. The shirt, the suit is just t-shirt, jeans, and some fucking tennis shoes, and then the backpack is just like a small little like spider backpack. It's adorable. And then I love these little knuckle things he has on his body, like his arms. I don't know what those are, but I think it's so that he doesn't like break his hand when he punches shit. I love it. But my favorite thing is that unlike every other skin, even the Into the Spider-Verse suit, even the comic suit, even the hyper weird looking shit, this one more than any other suit turns the game into Roger Rabbit. Hang on, there's a bit of a reason to that. This turns the game into Who Framed Roger Rabbit because this is like, you know, he's the only Toon in a world of real people, and I love it because it's something that I stumbled upon when I was playing through the third DLC, the one where your cop brings up the deep end to try to catch. I think it's Kingpin or Rhino or Hammerhead. I think it's Hammerhead. And I had just beaten all the screwball events, and I saw the skin, I equipped it immediately, and then I went off to my next story mission, and Yuri's pissed. Like, she's so pissed. And it looks like she's pissed at you in general. Like, she's just treating you like shit. So it just looks like she's mad, and like she's been dealing with this tune forever, and he won't leave her alone, and just, you know, tells her to fuck off. And like, I see you again near a case, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. I don't know why, but my brain just loves it. Like, just I'm gonna go into the city for a minute. Just look at this thing for a minute and tell me you don't laugh your ass off. Look at this. Like, yeah, no one really acts any different to you. It's just,
check it out.
it's just, I love how the whole fucking, like, he just stands out like a sore thumb. Like, oh well, I'm gonna go home and be a tuna. I don't know. I can't help it. I'm having too much fun. I'm sorry. But yeah, with that being said, that's every Spider-Man skin ranked. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys, you know, liked my number 1 and didn't get too mad at my number 47, I think is all of them. Not entirely sure how many there are. But with that being said, as always, my name is Chris. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do what you do, and happy Halloween.